Hey, how you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're viewing this video. My name's Captain Kazoo. This is Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Review. Today's going to be a little bit different. Today is basically a day for answering questions and asking questions. Those of you who have gone to my website at www.captainkazoo.com have, I'm sure, noticed a section that says, Ask Captain Kazoo Says. Now, Captain Kazoo Says is something we've been doing for years, and that's little, what do you call them, homilies, etc. We've also added an addition to that, and that is if you have a question about anything to do with kazoos, send me an email and we'll answer your questions on the air. So we've had an enormous amount of questions, and that means more than one. The questions range from the simplest questions to the most complex. I think probably the most complex that we had was from a viewer, a kazooist, who was asking whether or not a computer program similar to that that exists in the Vocalizer 1000, a computer program that would transform vocal sounds into the sounds of musical instruments, if such a thing existed. And I had to be honest with him and said, I really don't know. I'll look it up on the web. I looked it up on the web. I found a lot of confusing answers, but nothing that was specific enough to answer that question. So I have to say, I don't know. The Vocalizer, as you know, is out of business, out of print, out of production. Parts have been scattered all over the globe. But it has a very interesting piece of software in it that enables it to do just that, transform voice sounds, or any sound for that matter, into a musical instrument, into the sound of a musical instrument. The Saxy from Sharper Image also has a similar component, some sort of a little chip in there that does basically the same thing. I don't know if Sharper Image or whomever might still have information about the Vocalizer would be able to help you, but if I can find anything, I'll give you a better answer. Several other questions have come in regarding kazoo holders. We've demonstrated a couple of kazoo holders that I find very favorable and easy to use. We've had several questions about the last few videos that we posted. There was one set of videos, two videos, about 20 minutes of video, two separate 10-minute videos under the heading of lunch. This was, I should say, well, it still is. This was a film project that I was working on, I'd say 20-odd years ago, maybe 30 years ago. Around 1978, 88, 98, 208. But as you can see, if you saw it, it's just as interesting today as it was the day I shot it. Now, accompanying that video, or those two videos, lunch, are two not music pieces of music that I call not music, N-O-T, which stands for non-objective trance. Non-objective trance. Non-objective trance music is the same as non-objective art. It has no beginning, no middle, no end. It just starts someplace and it ends someplace, which takes us, of course, to our favorite artist of all times, Jackson Pollock, who we used to call, when I was back at Art Students League in New York back in the early 50s, or the late 40s, no, it would be the early 50s, around 1950 at Art Students League in New York, we used to call Jackson Pollock Jack the Dripper, because Jack simply rolled out canvas on the floor and sprinkled through drip paint on the canvas, and nobody knows how he knew when he was finished, but at one point in time he said, "I'm finished, that's it." You cut it up into pieces and you sell it, and everybody goes crazy, said this is the most wonderful thing in the world. Anyway, that's what not music is. It's non-objective. It has no objective. It isn't real. It's not non-real. It's really not anything. It's just music spilled onto a recording tape like paint spilled onto a canvas. And I have a rule here at Captain Kazoo's Kazoo Museum, and that rule is anything that drips on the canvas, or for that matter leaks onto the tape, stays there, part of the show. We do not edit anything. We do our programs on a memory chip. We don't edit them. They go straight to YouTube and wherever else they go in the world. Anyway, a lot of questions about those videos. Both the lunch video that was shot with a Panasonic color camera back in the, as I say, the late 70s, in a negative mode, as that's what gives it that blue strange tone. And I believe, if I remember correctly, it was shot through some sort of a glass, some sort of a convex glass, which gave it that distorted shape. Other than that, it's just what it is. Perfect. The music meets the picture. They meld together like a Vulcan mind melt, and that's what it is. The second one up there is a video of a TV show that I did back in the year 2000 on a show that was called simply The Show on KRON TV in San Francisco. It was shot at the Metreon, the Sony Metreon in San Francisco. We had a really long wait to go on that show because we were kind of put on the show at the last moment. The video, my portion of the show, only lasted just a skosh over 4 minutes. And when they said, "Will you play us to the break?" and I started to play the vocalizer of all things, all of a sudden we went to break and they said, "Thank you very much." I thought I was coming back. But anyway, I didn't, but I am, and here I am, and that's that. So those videos are, as I headlined them, they're a blast from the past. What else? Oh, a question. I've got questions. You guys watch Jeopardy? Did you ever watch Jeopardy, the show Jeopardy? You know, on Jeopardy they use some sort of a hand-operated buzzer thing that alerts them that they have an answer. I'm wondering, do they put new buzzer things on every time they have a new show and new contestants? Or do they sanitize those buttons every time after the old contestants leave and the new contestants come? Or are the new contestants coming and just grabbing onto old, greasy, sweaty things that the previous thousands of contestants have used? And of course we can all easily understand that everybody on that show got sweaty palms. And you know what happens when you got sweaty palms and you touch things. It becomes very grimy and slimy. So I hope to hear from Alex Trebek that they put new ones on every time, or they're sanitizing them through some process or another, so that the new contestants are not catching the Germans from all the old contestants. Anyway, I have failed to do one thing, and I've got to check that out right now because that's the most important thing. And that is that our time is about up. So that's about all that I've got today to say, except keep on humming, keep tuning in, and I'll see you next time. This is Captain Kazoo signing off.